Hi guys, and welcome to another Divi WordPress theme video. This is Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Well, we're going to continue on. We've been using this Divi Theme Carousel Module Plugin, and today we're going to build this nice full screen or full width carousel. You can advertise your products or your images or anything you want to showcase. It's very good looking little carousel here. It's a great way to get eyeballs on your site. And once we've done this straightforward one here, we're going to convert it into a 3D carousel like this one I've done below here. Again, very easy to do. So let's get started. The first thing I want to do to get started is enable Divi's Visual Builder right here. Once enabled, let's go down to where we want to actually work, which I guess will be below this one. So I'm going to click the little blue button to create a new section. I'm going to make it a regular section. I'm going to make it a single row with a single column. And Divi's going to prompt us to add a module. By default, all these light grey ones with the blue icons come with Divi as standard. Divi Carousel and Divi Product Carousel are both third-party ones, this one right here. And the purple ones, they're from a third party also, but all the other light grey ones come as standard with Divi. Divi keeps getting better and better. If you're building any sort of WordPress site at all, I do suggest you check it out. If you want to take it for a test drive, you can do so from my affiliate link below this video. So let's add our Divi Carousel module right here. And as I said earlier, I'll put the link to this module below the video should anybody want to use it. Okay, first thing we want to do is how many items do we actually want to show across our desktop? Well, I'm going to set that to 6 for desktops. And let's say 4 on tablets. And on a mobile, it's just going to show 1. That works for me. Now, before we do anything, I guess we've got to add an item. So let's click on that add item or add new item. And I'm just going to call it white dress, just like I did above. Subtitle, sale now on, or whatever your subtitle is. And something like price is too low to miss. Like I say, whatever it is you need to say. Okay, and as you can see, it's put it here. That's the title, subtitle, and text. Now we want to add an image to it. So we'll go down to image settings. Hit the little add image button. And let's grab the white dress. There we go. Okay, as you can see, it's put it there, and it's sort of made enough space for there to be 6 of them. But at the moment, we're sort of boxed. We're not a full width row at the moment, but we'll change that. But first, I want to get this looking like I actually want it. So let's go to our button settings. I'm going to have a button on there. And the button's going to say shop now. And the URL, well, you could do if you wanted to you could have it go to the URL of whatever product you wanted, or whatever. If you're just doing an image, you could have it pop out in a light box. But I guess we'll go for a product. So let's go to our products. Find our white dress. Let's do a search right here. There it is. And let's just right click on the view and copy the link address, and we can paste that in to our button URL. There we go. So that will now, the button, when we create it, will now take us to that product. It's actually there, but it's white on white, so you can't see it, but we'll change that in a moment. Okay, for the background for our item here, I'm just going to simply make it this greenish color that we've got going on there, the default green. There we go. You can see that button now. Okay. So we want to start styling this the way we want it. But before I do that, let's just make our row. I'm just saving this. This row right here, the green one, the blue one's for the section, the green one's for the row, and the dark one right here is for the actual product itself. So let's make this row full width to start with. So let's click on the cog for the row. We want to go to design, then sizing. I want to drag that up to 100% and max width. We want to make that 100% too, 100%. There we go, and as you can see, that's shot that right to the end there, which is absolutely fine. So our row is now full width, which is just what we wanted. Let's continue and work on this product here. So back to the product, which is this one, to our white dress right here. Let's go to a design tab. Image styles, well, I'm pretty happy with the way the image is, so I want it at the top there. You can change it to bottom, left, right, or inside the content if you want to. I'm going to leave mine just where it is. Don't need a filter. Title text, well, what did we do above here? We made that white and centered. So let's do the same here. I'll leave it as the default text. I think I'll make it semi-bold just to stand out a little bit more. And let's center that text and make it a white color. Move on down. Sale now on. Okay, we made that red. Let's do the same thing. Subtitle text. Again, I'm going to make it semi-bold. I'll leave it as a default font. I also want to capitalize it. I think I capitalized that, yeah. So we'll capitalize it. You've got italic, capitals, small and large capitals, underline and line through. I'm going to hit capitalize. I'm going to put it in the middle. I'm going to make it red. And I'm going to make it bigger. So I'm just going to slide the subtitle text size up a little bit. That's probably going to be fine right there. Something like that. Don't want to change the letter spacing or the line height. Now the content style, well, I just want that to be white and centered. Perhaps a little bit bigger. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, let's keep going down. Let's move on to our button styles now. Okay, well, I want the button to be in the middle. The actual style's not too bad, but I want to use custom styles, so I'm going to hit the yes there. What did we do with this? I think we just gave it a blue background. So, button custom text color, I better bring it up so we can see it. Text color, I'm going to leave white, it's fine. Background color, we just use that blue color right there. Oh, sorry, that's the text color again. Let's change that back to white. Background color, change it to the blue right there. That's pretty much it. I gave it a bit of a box shadow, looks like up here. So let's do that. There's the icon if you want an icon. If I hover over it, you can see a little icon there. You can either choose to have it or not with that button and choose the icon that you want from Elegance theme icon set here, and there's plenty of them. And you can color the icon if you want. I'm going to leave mine just as is and leave it on the right hand side. Alright. Don't want any shadow on the actual text. Well, I guess I could try a little bit. Well, I'll leave that. It does make it stand out a bit, but I do want a bit of box shadow on the actual button itself, probably just this one. And it's actually there, but we can't see it because the button is resting against the bottom there. So we need to give our contents here a little space, top and bottom. So let's go on down and let's have a look at spacing here. And we've got image padding, content padding, which is what I want right here. So let's go to content padding and give it, let's give it 20 pixels top at the bottom. You don't have to put the PX in after, it'll do it for you. As you can see, it's put in 20 pixels above there. And if you want to do the bottom as well, just simply check the chain, it'll do it for you. If you want to use a percentage, just select the PX and put in a percentage sign instead, but that's fine for me. As you can see, we've now got 20 on the bottom as well as the top there, and you can see that shadow that's under the button, which is great. Okay, we're pretty much done with this. The only thing I actually want to do with this is add a bit of box shadow to the actual element itself. So let's go out of spacing, let's go down to box shadow and see what we can put on. I want something like this, I guess. There we go, or perhaps something like this. That's actually there, but again, we can't see the shadow on the bottom because there's no space for the shadow. I think if I just save this and save the carousel settings, as you can see, if I hover over it, it's butted up against the top and bottom of our actual row, the green tab right here. So what we need to do for that shadow to be able to be seen top and bottom is give it a little bit of space on the top and bottom. So let's go in there and do that. And let's actually go Divi Carousel. We're not in the actual module itself, or this item right here. We're in the actual carousel settings. I'm going to go to design, and down here you'll see custom spacing, and it's got all kind of different spacing options for you. And the one that I want to give it that space top and bottom is the carousel inner wrapper padding right here. So let's give it, say, 30 pixels top and bottom, 30, and I hit the chain. There we go. It's giving it a bit of breathing space. You can now see that drop shadow around the outside of there. So for all intents and purposes, I'm pretty pleased with that. So what we need to do is rinse and repeat. And what I'm going to do is I'll go up and duplicate these. So we're in our carousel setting. We'll go to content. Here's our first one. And I've told it that I want 6 across, so I'm going to make perhaps 8 or 10 items so it can actually revolve and we'll have a change there. So I'm going to duplicate. And then I'm going to go into this next one. I'm going to update the name. I'll leave the subtitle and the text as is. Obviously, I'll have to update the link to take it to the correct product image. I'm going to go to the image settings, and I'm going to change that for the red dress. There we go. I'm going to save that, and I'm going to continue, and I'll pause this video and do the rest of them. No point you watching me repeat myself here. So I'll do the rest of these, and we'll be right back. Okay, well, I've created several now. We've got a bunch there, and like I say, I just changed out the image and a bit of the text there. Let's just save that. Let's go up to our section, just add a little gradient behind there, like I've done with this one, that's sort of darker at the top than the bottom, gives it a sort of bit of depth. So I'll go into the section setting right here. Simply going to give it a background. And I'll give it a gradient, and for the first color, that will be the top one, I'm going to make that black, and I'm going to take the opacity, or the see-throughness, way down like that, and the bottom one I'm going to make white, and I'll leave the opacity all the way up for this one. There we go. You sort of got a gradiated background there, going from dark to light. We can see all our shadows nicely. So let's save this. Before I exit, I'll just show you something about the timing. If I go back into the module here, to the slider settings, transition duration, let's take that up to sort of 1.5 seconds. I'm going to say 1500. That'll just slow it down. Okay, so now we've got the time, the duration. I'm not going to do center slide at the moment. We'll do that in a moment. I'll show you why. I want it to loop. I want it to autoplay. I want it to pause on hover when I put my mouse over there. Don't need a scroller effect at the moment. Autoplay delay, I'll just leave that as is because I want it to pretty much play from the start. Arrow navigation, let's have that on. Let's have a couple of arrows. I think I might like to just see those when we hover over it though, perhaps. Dot navigation, those are little dots on the bottom. I don't think I'll have that in this today. As you can see, it puts the dots for the various slides there. I'm going to leave that as off. Equal height items. Well, if your images and your content were different on each one and they were different sort of sizes, you'd want to check that to make sure each one was still the same height. Vertical line top, that's absolutely fine. Center, bottom, top's fine for me. Lazy loading, I'm not going to worry about that. That means it'll start revolving before the actual pictures have loaded, or it'll load the pictures before it starts revolving. Okay, I think that's pretty much all I want to do here. So let's see it in action. So I'm going to save this. Save our changes on the page. Save draft, or just save if you've already published the page. When it's saved, let's exit the Visual Builder and go down to where we were. Let's go on down. There's our first one, there's the second one, and here's the one we've just done. Okay, well that's working nicely. It's scrolling, and as you can see, it's pausing for 1500 milliseconds or 1.5 seconds, which is great. It gives people time enough to actually go on there. And let's try our little button, see if it's going to take us to our white dress product page. Yep, there we are. Fantastic. Let's go back. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I only want these to be visible on hover, and also I want to make this into the sort of 3D type that we've got above. Like I say, if you just want a straight carousel, that's great and it's effective. You can just leave it just like that. But let's make it 3D, and this plugin makes it real easy for you. So we'll enable the Visual Builder again. Once loaded, let's go down to where we were, which is right here. And what we want to do, I want to hide these unless we're hovering over them, and then I think I want to make that background transparent there and just have those white perhaps. And I want to make this 3D, so let's go into our module yet again. And to make this 3D is really simple. We just go down to our advanced slider settings here. Here we go. And instead of default, we want to use what they call cover flow here. And as you can see, that sort of twisted these around and added a bit of shadow to the inner side and a bit of lightness to the outer side. Now to make this look how we want it, I want to use what they call center slide. So let's go to our slider settings, go on down, center slide. That way, that means that there'll be one slide centrally located at all times, which is this one right here. And to make it into a sort of carousel like we've got up here, you just need to tweak the angle a little bit and get these in line. So let's go back to our advanced slider settings right underneath this tab and play with the rotate to actually achieve that. Now all I'm doing is moving that to the left. You can move it the other way, and I want to kind of leave it the way that we want to actually see it. So I think something like that. If you actually wanted them to overlap, you could pull the spacing in, but for my purposes I think that's going to work absolutely fine there. Just a little bit of gap on the end. And the only other thing I wanted to do was hide these little things until we hover. So let's go ahead and do that. That will be in the design, next and previous button, show on hover only for middle position, and we are using the middle position, so let's just check that little box. As you can see, they disappeared until we hover over them. Like I say, I'd like to take that background color away and just have the arrows perhaps white, So again, we can roll on down a little bit to color settings. Arrow color, I want to make that white. And background, arrow background color, I want that to be transparent. So now when I hover over, there we go. We've just got our little white arrow with no background there. Right, that wraps it up. Let's save our changes. Save the page changes. And exit the visual builder. And let's go down and see what we've got. There it is right there. As you can see, it's revolving nicely, sort of carousel effect. I like that effect. I think it's sort of draws the eye. And when I pull my mouse over, it should pause, which it does. And our little arrows appear at either side. So we can go back or forth. So yeah, there you have it. I'm very pleased with that. So that's how to create a full width 3D carousel using the Divi Carousel plugin. I hope you've enjoyed that and found it useful. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, share, comment and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Your comments really do help me decide what videos to make next. If you're interested in web development, take a look down below. We've got some great free courses down there, as well as some premium courses with some huge discounts for our YouTube subscribers, so do check it out. Once again, this has been Jamie with System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.